And welcome back to game number 2 of match number 3 of week 1 of the Hivemind Star League tournament. My name is Evolution Woodhouse, and I will be your caster for this game as well. If you just watched the last game, which I do highly recommend you do, go check it out. It is Freekz versus SBKillerDram, game number 1 on MLG's Metalopolis. It was a very, very quick game. Freekz definitely showing the dominance of early turn aggression, putting him up at a score of 1-0. And without any further ado, let's see if he can put it away on the Shattered Temple. This, again, is another map that I think people were a little confused on and got played on. And as I've said previously, in week 1, we're just going to kind of let that slide. But we will be back with the GSL Belshire Beach as the opening map next week, which is actually 2 weeks for those of you paying any attention. But that's a different story for a different day. Spawning over here on the right-hand side, we have SBKillerDram, who is down 0-1 to Freekz, and looking to tie it up and looking to take the series, hopefully in a 2-1 fashion. But we will see given due time. And we see spawning close by air his opponent, Freekz, our blue Terran buddy up here in the top corner of the map. Yeah, both players just kind of playing normal right now, macroing up. Freekz getting a little bit supply blocked there, not that big of a deal. We do see Dram again, just droning continuously. We'll have to see if he goes for his 14 expand again, or if he opts into some one-base roach play, or even possibly two-base. And it looks like at this point in the game, they did realize what was going on, which is, again, fine. By virtue of the two players just continuing to play on it, they both kind of agreed just to let it slide. Like I said, as a staff, we just agreed to let it slide for week number 1. See the chatter still going on here in the game. And the spawning pool going down on 15 for SBKillerDram. Still no gases. The barracks for Freekz just now getting done. Is he going to wall himself all in? Doesn't look like it at this point. Anyway, he might here in a second. There it is. There's this wall and supply depot. He did scout his opponent. Like I said, this is the Blizzard map. So for Freekz, Dram could have spawned here, or he could have spawned cross position. The Blizzard maps have you spawn either close by air or cross positions as opposed to close by ground. We do see the gas that is not being mined from by SBKillerDram. Continuing just to drone up at this point, producing 6 Zerglings as we speak. Go back over here to Freekz base. We see him drop down a tech lab first as opposed to a reactor, so that's probably leaning away from reactor. Hellion builds has gotten a gas and an orbital by this point. Can he get the overlord? Can he do it? Can he do it? Can he do it? The little marine that could. Looks like he will take out the Overlord before it can get away. That does put Dram back 8 supply, so he is back down at 18. So he's 21 of 18 right now. We do see a Marauder out for Freekz right now. We also do see a nice Larva Inject and a bunch of drones at this point. Freekz still has this SCV down here, though. He does know that Dram has not has not expanded yet. And the one Ling, I don't think the one Ling saw the SCV. At this point, I'm not actually sure that Dram didn't see the SCV. He doesn't know that Freekz knows he hasn't expanded. So we'll have to see how Dram plays this as it is, warping in 3 Overlords as we speak. Freekz again getting stim, and I think Dram was hoping he would have given away what he's doing, and actually by pulling out the Marine, he does not give anything away, considering Terrans know how to use their A key and build Marines. For Marauders now, we do see the Marine coming out here to scout a little bit. Dram I like the idea that he is checking for other expansions. I do not like, though, how careless in some cases he is being with, say, this Overlord. Now, granted, as a Zerg player, you're going to lose Overlords during a game. It's just bound to happen. But flying directly cross-position on the map, especially not knowing whether your opponent has the Watchtower or not, is just kind of a careless rally point issue. Continuing just to mass up lanes at his front. It looks like he's just content to do that. He does have a Roach Warren down, and we do see the Marine trying to take out the Overlord. I do think he will get this one too. That is a little bit of a downfall for Zerg. When your Overlords get taken out, your supply goes back down. Who would have thunk, right? But yeah, careless pathing like that leads to some issues. As we see, it didn't supply block him, but it could have eventually. We also see the metabolic boost is almost done. 2 roaches in production and a lair just about done as well. Freekz looking like he's going to push out with the big scary Marine Marauder ball. At this point, he does know that Dram has not expanded. He knows that Dram is on one base. He can sufficiently limit the things that Dram can or cannot be doing. Throws the scan down just to confirm probably what he already knows, and starts to push up the ramp. Stims, taking out all the Zerglings. Who would have thunk Marauders are good against Zerglings? Marauders are good against Roaches, though. And again, with the late defensive Spine Crawler by Dram, I don't know what he was thinking trying to throw that down there at that point. The Marauder is going ahead and focusing down the Queens. And now going back to the pool. And apparently, as we see from this engagement, Marauders are pretty good against Zerglings. We do see the reinforcements rally down here for Freekz. Still no combat shield on these Marines, though. Yeah, still no combat shield. Just making sure I'm not lying to you. We do see another spawning pool going down. Another larva inject does pop. Again, I don't know what Dram is expected to do at this point. His economy is still there this time, though, but he just is not having any luck whatsoever. And now with the extra stream of units, expect to see a GG at any point now here. Just start the spawning pool, but I don't think this is enough. Even with the roaches spawning, they're getting killed off literally right as they spawn by these Marines and Marauders. Pulling the drones now. Looks like kind of a miss micro there by the drones of Dram. It looks like the lair is also going to get taken out here. Like I said, expect a GG any point now. There's not a whole lot Dram can do at this point, with the flood of units coming into the front of his base and the micro Freekz being spot on today. Yeah, that was a miscue with the drones, I think. And there it is. Another BMGG from SBKillerDram. As we can see there, at that point, once the Marines and Marauders pushed up the ramp, there wasn't actually a whole lot Dram could do. He allowed his Zerglings to get funneled down into the onslaught of the Marines and Marauders, and just kind of, couldn't recover from there. All in all, it was a very, very clean win by Freekz in game number 2 and also in game number 1. So he will be moving on to the winner's bracket round of 8. Did I say that right? Yeah, it would be 8. So keep in mind also that Dram is not completely out of this tournament. The loser's bracket for this tournament does start in the next playing week, which for any of you who are on the Montana State campus know it is spring break next week. So the next week of games will be played on March 24th. But that is where the loser's bracket starts. So like I said, keep in mind the players that lose these matches, not completely out of the tournament, they can still take the entire tournament in one shot, and the finals will be cast at our LAN in April. So with that, guys, thank you for tuning in. Like I said before, check out the rest of the VODs, and we will catch you next time.